Welcome back to JB Reviews. Today's the day that I finally put a tonneau cover on my truck, guys. You do not know how frustrating it is to drive a truck without a tonneau cover. Because when we didn't have my wife's Wagoneer, we were using this to go get groceries, and it has been hectic. I mean, look how dirty my truck is. The snow out here in Utah is real. It is so dirty. I cannot wait to clean my truck. But this is gonna be an install video, and here it is. I basically got the OEM tonneau cover. It's like the cheapest one you get, it's like 520 bucks. I think I got it for $278. I'll put it here in the video, but I had some GM rewards, and then at the end of the year, they had like 20% off over 500 bucks. And now, I can finally protect my bed and all my stuff inside of it, although I don't really carry much stuff in here, but I am going on a long trip and it's going to come in handy for that. But let's go ahead and pull it out of the box, and then we will pretty much see what we have to do. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
My little girl, you good?
Yeah.
You guys can open that door up too if you guys can't get there, okay? By the way, look how dirty my garage is. I've been slacking on getting everything organized. I need to get a rack or something to put all the stuff on there. But yeah, I've just been procrastinating. I've been spending way too much money, so I'm kind of poor too, so there's that. Now, even though I got a pretty good deal on this, if you want this installed at the dealership, I believe they charge like $150, or if you want them to ship it to your house, it's like $200. I'm like, why would I spend $200 to ship this when the dealership's like 5 minutes down the road? Well, it's not 5 minutes down the road, but I go there all the time, so yeah, I would not pay that much money. So again, if you're gonna get this, have them deliver it at the dealership and pick it up. Alrighty, I see a rail. Yes, this is like the one I had on my Ram, basically. The only difference is, looks like it, oh no, do I have to drill this? Oh no. I hope I don't have to drill this. I did not look at that. Darn. I can drill it, I just don't like drilling into a truck. But let's go ahead and get everything out, and we'll lay it out, and then we'll go ahead and get it installed. It is cold out here, guys. Holy smokes. This is right here, if you have an RV, this is the truth. Like, if you ever have an issue with electric, your furnace, my buddy heater, and that's actually the Mr. heater. This is the big buddy heater. That is the way to go. But here we go. So they give you this guy. This looks like some insulation, or maybe it's like for like waterproofing. And this is gonna be the cover. This looks like my Tuxedo one, the Low Pro, although the rails sit a little bit higher than that light, but it's okay. It is what it is. That's what happens when you save money. And this is a GM product, so it does say GMC. I should have got one, but it didn't say GMC because, as you guys know, I'm trading this truck in on a Chevy, so I should have just got a cover that could be transferred from truck to truck, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. For $278, I might be able to get the same deal in the next truck. But here's all the stuff that comes with it. We're gonna go ahead and take everything out. But this is really lightweight. It's not heavy. Now, as you would expect, one rail is for the driver's side, one rail is for the passenger side. So we'll figure that out. And yes, it looks like we have to drill. Now that sucks. Had I known that, and maybe I did know that I had to drill, I should have got a Tuxedo one. Because the Tuxedo one has the clamps, and you know what? I actually think I have some clamps here, but I don't have enough. But yeah, unfortunately, you have to drill. Alrighty, so I'm gonna name the title of this video, Don't Buy a GMC Accessory, and hopefully they fix this problem in the future. So, online, there's no installation instructions, but they tell you here that there is. It says navigate to the accessory for your vehicle and select the documentation. Well, for this specific cover, there's no installation instructions, so I have to just kind of figure this thing out. So these nuts also have stars, and I have these, but for some weird reason I don't have this exact size. Again, why would they, never mind, we won't go down that road. So I don't have the installation instructions to figure out what size these are. But these go with these. You're gonna have to drill into your bed. With Tuxedo Low Pro, this is basically the same cover as the Tuxedo Low Pro. Buy that cover instead of this crap. Because at least with them, they give you the clamps that go with this, as opposed to having to drill into the side of your truck. Now this is the manufacturer, and they're basically telling you have to drill. Now I did see that online, it's not a big deal, but for them not to send installation instructions, it's very frustrating. So what I did so far, here's how it's all laid out. This part of it's pretty easy. I have these clamps, you're gonna need these if you're gonna be doing it by yourself. And these bolts and washers, they all go on the front right there. I basically have it already there. Okay? You're gonna have to drill in right here, right there, and right there and there. There's 4 on each side. So there's 8 places you're gonna have to drill. On this side, one right there, which I don't even know if I can even drill. I guess I'll have to figure it out. But let's go ahead and start doing it, and then I'll kind of show you guys where we are. I'm gonna go ahead and drill right here. This is a 1/4 drill bit. Goes in super easy. And so make sure it's nice and open. And so what you're gonna have to do is, this guy right here is going to basically go in the back of here, like this. Okay? And then you're going to have to just bolt this in. This was a lot harder than I expected. I should have quit before I was this deep into it. But let me just show you something really quickly. So I figured out what these are for. And then of course we knew what these were. So these are gonna go on the edges of the bed because obviously there's not a lot of room on the edges. These go in the center, okay? You can kind of see the one right there. You're also gonna need a hat with the light on it because it's just dark in here. And I recommend, because you're gonna be on your knees, most of the time you're going to need some of these too. And from there, it should be pretty easy. I already put the weather strip on the front here. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then once I'm done, I'll show you guys where these black washers go and this nut goes in a second. But I just wanted to go ahead and get this bolted down. I still don't know where these go. I'm still a little lost for these, but I'm just not going to use them for now. And if all this falls off, then I'll probably figure out the weak spot. So yeah, it's a frustrating project because like I said, I like to kind of get in there, look at the directions and then go after that. But like I said, these guys right there, they go in the center, like 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the rest of the thinner ones are gonna go on those edges because, as I mentioned, it's hard to get them in there. So you have to wedge them within this area right there. And yeah, and then once you get it in there, it's pretty easy. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of the bolts in on the sides here, and then we'll put this cover in, and I'll show you guys how to do that. All right, so here we go. First things first, so we're gonna drill right here. And it's really easy, it goes right through. And as I mentioned, you're gonna need this guy for this area right here. And then let's go ahead and slip it in there. I find it's helpful to have a screwdriver with you so you can wedge it in there a little bit better. Just don't push too hard. And now, you're gonna need this nut here. Hopefully you guys can see it there. And we're just gonna put it in that same spot. I do not have any star heads, so I am using the flat head, which works perfectly. You just have to have the perfect sizing and then to work. Perfect. Now, the one next to this one is using the same head. Nice and tight. Like I said, these are really good to have too. And then this one here, as I said earlier, is gonna need one of those other pieces. Hopefully you can see right there. The next one over is gonna have the same one as this one. And we're gonna basically do the exact same thing on the other side. So this one's gonna need that long piece. And of course on the edges, you're gonna need those long metal pieces to put behind there on these edges because you're not getting the other piece in there. And you will know once you see it, but I'm pretty much done on this side. I'm just gonna put these last two in there and then I'm gonna move over to the other side. Something I should have mentioned earlier is you wanna make sure that these rails on the driver and passenger side are pushed all the way up. You also need to install that weather strip first too. And this is the moment of truth. So the tailgate does close, and on the front, it should be pushed all the way up as I mentioned. So make sure you have this pushed all the way up before you start drilling. I did not mention that because I remember that from my Ram when I installed it. So now we're gonna install the cover, and from there we should be done. I still don't know what these are for. I'm assuming because of how hard it was to get those screws in on the front, these may have been like there to help you with that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can see it right here. These pieces come off the edges, right there. And when you pull that off, this is where you're gonna put that screw in at, okay? And then you just put this back on, and then you're gonna basically install the washer, then the nut. And then that's pretty much done, okay? And then you're gonna do that on both sides. After that, you're gonna slide this into the track, like so. I can't get in it right now, maybe I can do it on this side. So yeah, you're gonna slide it into this track right there, and then you're gonna tighten the tensioner here. And then that'll secure it, and then you're pretty much done at that point. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Let me zoom in just a little bit for you. So right here, you can see that nut that's coming through right there, right? So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna put the washer on first, and then we're gonna put the nut on. I thought that the washer went between the rail and the cover, but that's not how it goes. And so it goes like that. And let me see what you need for your ratchet. And you're gonna need a 14 for this. So just go ahead and secure it in there. And you may need a long socket. Actually, you don't need a long socket. You don't need a long socket. I thought you may have needed it, but I'm not gonna tighten it down all the way because I wanna do this side too. I wanna make sure we're all good to go. So I'm just go ahead and drop this one in like that. And we're pretty much done here. I switched to a 9/16. The 14 mil is just a little too small. It gets the job done, but makes it a little bit tougher. So use a 9/16. And make sure before you install it make sure that this weather strip, the one that's on the cover, make sure that it's leaning over here, okay? That gives you that waterproof seal, so to speak. It's not 100% waterproof, but it helps to keep water out of the bed. And then from there, I just need to find a flathead so I can tighten up the tensioners, and we are 100% done. And I apologize, guys. I normally would lay out all the stuff for you and let you see it, but yeah, I did not expect this to take almost an hour and a half, you know, to do. So, like I said, it's not hard to do. The only parts I didn't use were these. And like I said, I don't know if I even have to use them because it's on here nice and secure. But let me go ahead and get my flathead, and then I'm going to tighten this down, and then we're pretty much done, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. Now, this is the moment of truth. Can I actually close this cover? Because I have not tried it yet. So, hopefully this wasn't in vain. This would be the first time you guys ever see me cry. If it doesn't work. Ooh, it's tight. So I have to loosen it up just a little bit. That's probably something I should have mentioned. The tensioners make it nice and tight and secure, but you probably don't want to tighten them too much because then you won't be able to close it. So I should have mentioned that before I started. So let me undo it. We're almost done. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video because I am like done with this. And we're pretty much done. This was a really hard install because without those instructions, it just added on like another hour to it. If I had the instructions, it calls for a 1 hour install, but without those instructions, it was just me just trying to figure everything out. And you don't want to start drilling holes in your truck until you figure out the stuff. So that's why, if it was just having the clamps and just clamping everything down, I would have just probably had it done within an hour and a half. But all in all, fitment was good. The only recommendation I can give you is this. Don't tighten the two nuts down on each side until you figure out the tension because it was way too tight. It took me 3 or 4 tries. And then I just undid those two nuts, pulled it back a little bit, and then it pretty much, you know, gave me enough flexibility to close it. So here's the moment of truth. Can I close it with a camera in my hand with one hand? Let's see. Kinda. It's still a little tight. It's still a little too tight, but it's okay for now. With this one, you cannot close your tailgate while the cover's down, so the cover has to be up, and then you have to close your tailgate and then you close the cover. A lot of people don't like that, but when you get the cheaper ones, that's what you have to expect. I don't really care personally. I'm so used to it. But once I buy a truck and I keep it for more than a year or two, I'll buy a really nice cover, but I don't keep trucks long enough for me to care about this type of stuff. But great quality. It sits a little bit higher than a truck seat. And all in all, I'm happy with it. I think that I probably would have still bought another cover because of the fact that they didn't give me those instructions. But we figured it out, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I am very happy that I have a cover now because when I go on my long trip, I can have all my stuff nice and protected. So, hope you guys liked the video. And yeah, I definitely recommend looking online and making sure you have instructions before you buy something. I didn't do that. I just assumed that GMC would bring it to me later.